When the gap between the pure desire and the manifested reflection of it is smaller and smaller and smaller, you will literally sense in the feeling body that mastery is growing, and that you are merely a child of God playing without ceasing in the sandbox of all possibilities called the mind, and that there is literally nothing out there that is solid, nothing out there that is unrelated to you. Hello friends, in this video I'm going to be going over lesson 12, the last lesson in the Way of the Heart. And this is the first book of the trilogy of the Way of Mastery, which is a channeling of Jesus, or Jeshua. And these beautiful books are by JON MARC HAMMER, or Jayem. So this is lesson 12, and these books are meant to be studied each lesson 1 month at a time, and there's 12 lessons. So it's supposed to be a year of study, this whole book. And in this lesson, he kind of concludes the year and sums it all up. The Way of the Heart is the preparation of the soil which allows the way of transformation to truly occur. And he says the main point of the Way of the Heart, this whole book, these 12 lessons, is just to prepare the soil, prepare your heart, your mind, so that you can receive the truth, and to uproot that which is unlike love, which in short is fear. So really the whole purpose is to free you from fear. Because if that weed of fear is still in your garden, he cannot plant that seed of truth. Free of what? Free of fear, and all of the children that fear begets: guilt, dishonesty, unworthiness, limitation, the need for suffering, judgment, and the list goes on and on. Therefore, in truth, we come not to improve what you would be thinking of as the surface of the garden, the surface of the soil, but to strike at the root that resides deep within the mind, in the depth which I have called the heart or the soul. All that we endeavor to do, then, is designed to uproot the weed of fear that has made a home in the depth of your being. Because in truth, as he reminds us again and again, you are already that perfect being. You are already fully loved. You need do nothing. You don't need to go and find love. It's only removing the obstacles that block you from the love, which is fear. That is why surrender comes up again and again in most spiritual books, including this book. And this is why in the process of healing and awakening, it is not necessary to seek for love. It is only necessary to prepare the place, the soil, by choosing to discover the obstacles to love, which all come down to fear, and to be willing to loosen that root, that it might be removed from the garden of your consciousness. And then he goes on to say again that the purpose of this is to prepare your soil. This whole year, these whole 12 lessons, to prepare you to be able to receive the truth. Prepare you so that you can transform. Understand then, and this is of great importance as we move into this next year, that all that transpires from this point rests on how well the gardener has cultivated the soil with the tools that have been given. Of all of these, that which can continue and will continue to serve you in the greatest will be the simple 5-minute practice of abiding as Christ, and observing all that you see, all that you feel, all that you think, as though a perfectly awakened Christ was the only one sitting in that chair. And he goes on to say the most important thing to realize for you to move on into this path, the Way of Mastery, into the next book, to the next set of lessons, is to fully take responsibility and realize that you are not a victim of the world. That you're not a victim of relationships, of events that have happened. I say unto you, do not enter the way of transformation until you've truly and fully satisfied your awareness that you are not clinging to even the subtlest iota of perception that, in any way, you are a victim of the world you see. Nothing has been caused by your relationships. All of them have merely shown you what you are already decided will be true. The world, then, is not the cause of anything. You merely see what you have used the freedom of your consciousness to concoct about yourself. And then he encourages us to look within and see if we hold any judgments, any strong emotions about events in the past, and gives us an exercise. Look well then and ask yourself this: who do I know in my existence whom I have judged and locked into a certain box, and I have decided that is all they are? You know, mother, father, ex-mate, whatever it is, I get it. I've placed you in a box and thrown away the key. You're stuck, so I have said. And now I release you, that I might be released. And contemplate their image. Allow the memories of the experiences you have shared with them to come back. If there are feelings, by all means let yourself feel them. Gaze upon them in your mind until you feel that sweetness that dissolves the imprisonment into which you've placed them. For as that imprisonment begins to melt, you will sense and know that your freedom is blossoming. So this is the way he says how we realize we are not victims of this world, and how we free ourselves. And then he reminds us that true knowledge is not of the intellect. It's not a struggle. We must figure things out. Again, it is a surrender, an allowance, a receiving of the true vibration. Knowledge is not a cognitive struggle. It is not the arranging ideas in some order that satisfies the thinking mind. Knowledge is the receiving of a vibration that begins to soften the soil of the heart and dissolves the root of fear from your being. Knowledge is that which is the result of the transformation of the garden that you have been given and entrusted with, the field of mind that is you. The way of transformation then asks you to truly become present where you are, to deliberately and consciously cultivate with every thought and every breath the willingness necessary that allows the root of fear to be dissolved, so that the good and the holy and the beautiful is all that emanates from you, like a beacon being sent out to creation around you. And then it reminds us of that universal truth that only what you can receive is what you can give, and that what you put out is what you get back, or that reality is a mirror, and that you can only receive things which have been prepared to be received. For nothing can be received until the place is prepared for it to enter, and you can only give what you have been willing to receive. If you receive a drop of water into your glass, that is all that you can give to another. That he that receives all gives all, and he that gives all receives tenfold more. And then he says, on this path, in any moment you can ask for help. Ask for help from Spirit, ask for help from him, from anyone, any one of your so-called guides. Just reach out and ask for help in humility, and it will come. And near the end of the lesson, he shares this beautiful description of love and says how it's indescribable, incomprehensible. That love which God is incomprehensible forever. The sunbeam can never comprehend the sun. I am a sunbeam to that sun. You are a sunbeam to that sun. We are therefore made of one substance, and that substance alone sustains us throughout eternity. And the greatest of joys is to surrender fully into allowing that light to light your way without ceasing. And she that releases the world embraces the Creator, and he that releases fear remembers love. She that embodies forgiveness lives at peace, and he that relinquishes control knows perfect trust, and that awakened Christ that has surrendered the knot of fear called I rests in unlimitedness forever in perfect communication with all of creation. And that union never ceases. It merely expands and extends as life comes forth. Creation comes forth, extending the good, the holy, and the beautiful. Good stuff. So that's lesson 12. It's really kind of a conclusion of all the lessons in the Way of the Heart and an introduction to the next book, The Way of Transformation. Check out the first lesson in that book. And again, all these lessons, all these books are available free online at womlibrary.com. Thank you.